I was here at Seaford to run a debate day for the Year 5s and Year 6s. We took them through some game-based debate-style learning in the morning, and then we built up towards what we call an extended maze debate, so a slight play on what we would do in our competitions.
Kevin Finnier, head of English for the senior school, approached Adam Cooper, who's the prep school literacy coordinator, and myself. He had knowledge of the ESU, the English Speaking Union, and thought it would be a really useful day for younger students to experience prior to moving on to Key Stage 3.
I really enjoyed the vocabulary that we used and the writing that we did, and especially all the fun little games that we did.
I learnt PEEL, which is point, explain, evidence, link, and that helps with just general English and stuff. And he also taught us lots of good vocabulary.
So obviously the children had time in the morning to prepare scripts for a particular argument. They were asked to debate whether or not zoos should be banned, so we had a team both for and against, as well as a couple of children being asked to chair the whole debate and listen to both sides of the argument before coming together and making their final decision.
I was really impressed with their ability to pick up on the structure that we use. So we use PEEL to help them to kind of organise their thoughts, and I must have spent a good couple of hours both at the ESU and in my job before as a secondary school teacher trying to get people to understand the importance of link at the end of a paragraph and to answer a question, and they picked up on it so quickly and so easily, so that was fantastic to see.
So debate has widely been acclaimed as a pedagogical tool that can improve transactional writing, and that's writing which communicates information between individuals and groups. It's a skill that will be taught discreetly in Key Stage 3 and then develop and progress through to Key Stage 4. It's essential for English GCSE, but obviously subjects such as RS and history benefit as well.
The children were very passionate, and writing debates are difficult because quite often you're arguing about something that you don't particularly agree with. So the idea was it was a balanced argument. So despite some of them maybe feeling that zoos should be banned, they had to think about some of the positives and really back those ideas up with evidence.
I think that they did really well in the debate. They asked, one group asked really good, they answered our questions really well, and they said things that would have answered our questions straight away. So I think they did really well.
I did find it a bit hard to control not being angry because I was quite passionate about that zoos should be banned because that's what I feel. I just kind of thought it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not as if banning zoos is actually going to happen in an English lesson.
I think one of the key ways that it helps them is to think about their thinking, I suppose, to organise the thought processes that they are using, to structure their use of evidence. Quite often, when I was teaching Year 7, you'd get a scattergun approach to your answers, and you'd get a little bit of everything involved in it. And I think debating helps to kind of cut that down and really clarifies the knowledge of what they want to say and how they're going to say it in a way that answers the question, which is then reflected in the quality of their writing as well.
The way the children conducted themselves, obviously we have a lot of children taking part in extracurricular activities within the schools such as Lambda, and I think that really shone through. They're also given opportunities in the classroom to get up and debate, and I think that came across perfectly. They were clearly very passionate whilst also thinking about using those key phrases to build on their arguments.
It's going to help my work because we learned about loads of different vocabulary and loads of different ways to use sentences and words in different ways and different techniques to use things. So I think those will definitely come in handy, and I had English today and I did use a lot of them.
I think the vocabulary and the choices that I learned yesterday really helped in not just English, but in any lessons where there might be debates, whether that's meant to be in a lesson or even just just a debate anyway, because then I know some tips that could help me win, and I can question people, which I learnt yesterday to do.
Use that to, in an argument or a story, you would link each question, or let's say at the end of a story or an argument, you would ask a question at the start of it like, oh, now let's find out what this means, and then at the end of it you would say, now that we have found out what this means. So that would be link. And evidence, you need evidence of something in that argument or story, otherwise you won't really have any proof anything's true.
In our English lesson, I will use the Peel method and the vocabulary that we learnt. It gave me more confidence for like public speaking and stuff, to like that I know I am allowed to like say my opinion if I want to.
In Today in English, we enjoyed it so much yesterday that we carried it on today for other people to debate at the front, which was really good because then everyone got a turn and you could see what other people's debates were. I told my teacher about my interest in politics, and then through then I've progressed to debate school because Miss Thomas offered me in debate club.
I went along with Henry, having had a chat with him, and he was keen to give it a go despite being so much younger. Went along with him for the first time, but he was confident to just go in on his own, introduced him to Miss Thomas, and he's attended every week and loved it. Mr Finnier also does the debate club with Miss Thomas, and fed back to me after the first session as to how impressed he'd been with Henry, and I believe on the back of that, him coming to me as head of senior school English, knowing my involvement and Adam's involvement in the prep school, we were able to put this together. So from an initial conversation with a student, it has been wonderful to see the collaborative development between the prep school and the senior school.
I do think I will do public speaking in the future because I do Lambda and I've done the English workshop, so I think it'll be building my confidence to do public speaking in the future.